Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up the screen. Oh yes, Houston, yeah, we have a problem. And oh crap. All right, let's get right on into NEO and what's going on with it. Just when we start heading in the right direction, whammy. NEO suspends production as the virus hits its supply chain. It says NEO has become the latest automaker to suspend production due to the outbreak in several Chinese cities. It says NEO said today that it suspended production as the virus has caused partners in its supply chain to shut down production since March. NEO supply chain partners in various cities and other locations have suspended production, so they can't get the parts that they need to produce their vehicles. It says, due to these factors, NEO's vehicle production has been suspended. There will be a delay in the delivery of vehicles for many customers in the near future, and we ask for your understanding. NEO will work with its supply chain partners to resume production and delivery as soon as possible while meeting control requirements. It says, notably, Shanghai, where NEO's global headquarters is located, entered a phased lockdown 2 weeks ago, while Hefei and Anhui province, where its factory is located, did not enter lockdown for now. It says the lockdown in Shanghai led to a 2-week shutdown of Tesla's factory in the city, and they still don't know when they're going to start that one back up. And a report from Reuters said that Tesla hopes to resume their production on April 4th, and the plant produces about 6,000 Model 3s and Ys. But then a few hours later, Bloomberg reported the plant would remain closed on April 4th. So it's just going back and forth big time. So this is going to be a problem. All right, folks, and as many of you that have watched my channel know, I've been complaining and being concerned about the way they're handling this virus problem with these shutdowns. I don't see how that's going to work. I really don't. You know, we finally get somewhat past the delisting fear. China finally gives in and starts saying they're going to cooperate with auditing, which they should. It's a perfectly reasonable request. And they finally blinked on that, which was a good thing. And now we're getting into this. I just don't see how this is going to work out. They're probably going to have to change on that as well, because right now...
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So what we need to do too is let's discuss why this is such a problem and why they're going about it this way instead of like the rest of the world that just kind of had to learn to live with it and let it kind of go on through. And here it talks about why Xi can't quit this policy. It talks about how China would be clinging to its dynamic zero policy without hesitation or wavering. It says, we are seeing Shanghai, well known for its targeted and flexible approach, now turning to draconian measures to control the virus. Now, usually I don't talk about politics too much unless it affects the business, so that's the only reason I'm covering it. But it talks about how Xi really, this is kind of his baby in some respects. And it talked about last summer how the strategy had proved successful in sustaining an extremely low level of the problem of the infection, but it began to face problems with the spread of the newer variants they spread faster. And this last one spreads like wildfire. And I don't know, you're not going to be able to keep it to zero, I don't believe. So I don't see this working out long term. And it talks about how Xi is believed to be seeking an unprecedented third term, contrary to longstanding limits on the longevity of the party's secretary's power. At the national level, city after city has rushed to mass testing, even in the absence of cases. It says, while Xi hoped to minimize the cost of a zero strategy, this renewed campaign will rapidly and exponentially take a heavy economic toll. And it says, socially, the single-minded pursuit of this zero policy has rippled effects such as lack of access to run-of-the-mill emergency health care, food, etc. So it talks about what the new breaking point is for the policy, and a top government health advisor said last summer China would start to open and coexist with the problem when the cost exceeds the benefits. So I think that's not going to be too long. And the politics of it says, under China's performance-based legitimacy, pivoting away from zero infection due to the high socioeconomic cost would undermine Xi's personal leadership right at the moment he is seeking a third time. And he has tied his personal interest to the policy, which is not good. It says he is actually personally issuing commands and personally arranging deployments in China's battle against the virus. He said, Abandoning it would hurt the legitimacy of the regime since it can no longer claim China's political system is superior to the Western ones. So I'm not going to spend forever on that, but it sounds like there's some politics in this, and the politics are not in our favor currently. Now, I do kind of agree with what that other government official said, that once it gets too painful financially, they'll probably give in. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it isn't handled a lot like the delisting fears, because you'll notice once it started getting real expensive and stocks started to plummet, all of a sudden they're ready to let people audit or start talking in much more favorable terms about getting something done. So, you know, financial pain, again, the Chinese government can be very pragmatic when it comes to money. And when they start seeing this is getting real expensive, they'll probably start turning to the way the rest of the world has handled these newest versions. That's my opinion. We'll see how it plays out. And the stock is currently sitting at 20 bucks. And, you know, we may see a pullback on Monday. I would expect that, down into the teens. And here's the thing. This is probably going to be a lot like the delisting problem. It's probably going to hit short term. And then I would expect China to make some changes. But that's just my opinion. Now, you know, when you get into politics, it gets trickier because then you get into stubbornness. But, you know, I can't see them allowing this to go long term if the price is too high. So I'm going to be watching this closely. If it dips down real low, I'm going to definitely add some to my position. But, you know, that's me. It's your money. You do as you please. But I see this as a short-term problem, but it's a problem. You know, I'm not going to sit here and candy coat it. That's for sure. All right, folks, and that's NEO today. I wish I had better news, man. Things were starting to really pick up. We were looking good on that delisting fears. I'm less concerned about Taiwan. And it looked like deliveries were really going to pick up, especially with NEO Park opening in the second half. Got the ET7 coming out, the ET5. I mean, it's just really looking up for NEO. And then kaboom. And this is the one thing I was worried about for the last several videos. This dadgum way they're handling this zero policy. I just don't think it's going to work. Keep saying that, but hopefully they'll come around and get this fixed. But if you like this content, well, you probably don't like this content. It's okay if you don't. Hit that subscribe button and like button if you don't mind. If you don't want to, that's okay. Anyway, crap. All right, we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.